You're watching This Week in Louisiana Politics with Fred Childers.
Good Sunday morning to you. I'm Fred Childers. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Politics on your local election headquarters. Well, the state of Louisiana is projecting a financial surplus for fiscal year 2021. Now, that means the state will have one-time money that legislators will have to decide how to spend. At the start of the pandemic, those in charge of forecasting the year's revenue saw the economy shutting down and other negative indicators. So they forecasted for a lower revenue amount. But the state has been performing well in fiscal year 2021 and exceeded that prediction. About $1 billion will be in surplus.
And you're not going to hit it right on the money. Try though you may, the Revenue Estimating Conference is not going to ever get it exactly on the money. And so you'd like to structure a budget based upon having money at the end of the year that can be used to make up for some things that arose during the year that you didn't have a budget for.
The state legislature will also have the remaining money from the American Rescue Plan. Over $1 billion have yet to be allocated towards pandemic recovery. And with some of that money, it can go towards addressing rural parts of Louisiana where broadband services are limited or unreliable. The state is offering grants to providers to get them to expand their services and lower prices. Political reporter Shannon Hecht brings us the details.
In Louisiana's rural small businesses would generate an additional $1.5 billion in revenue. It would create 4,888 jobs. It would increase payroll by $200 million.
That is the projection of what expanding broadband in the state would do for the economy. Right now, in these central and northern parts of the state, they don't have affordable or reliable broadband. As technology becomes more prevalent in everyday life, as shown with remote work and virtual learning, making it accessible to everyone is crucial to close any gaps.
Quality of life is going to be an issue, and so the challenges around your ability to be successful in life, both professionally and personally, is going to be curtailed.
$177 million has been set aside for broadband in the state. $90 million has already been approved for the first wave of funding, and with that money, providers can apply for grants.
So our focus is really to incentivize those companies who will build either fiber optics to the home itself or some sort of combination of fixed wireless and fiber that will generate substantially greater speeds.
Those grant applications will be open from November 1st to the end of the year. For your local election headquarters, I'm Shannon Hecht.
Now, the latest in the lawsuit filed against a former LSU educator for sexual misconduct. The school has removed its French Studies Department chair after a new lawsuit alleges LSU did not act after allegations of sexual harassment and assault were made against one of its graduate students. The Advocate reports Adelaide Rousseau was removed as the department chair effective immediately, but remains an LSU professor on sabbatical. The graduate student left the country while he was facing rape charges in Rapides Parish. New Orleans District Attorney Jason Williams was elected on a promise not to throw so many people in jail. But the Metropolitan Crime Commission says it means more violent criminals walk free. Reporter LBJ brings us the details of the debate around prosecuting felony charges.
We are going to be ready to go and try those very difficult, very tough cases in which people have hurt people in the city of New Orleans. Some people got to go to jail. I mean, that is the job of this office.
In March of this year, Orleans District Attorney Jason Williams told WGNO that his office would be prosecuting people accused of violent crime in the city. But according to a new report from the Metropolitan Crime Commission, that's just not the case.
In the first 8 months of this year, the New Orleans Police Department arrested 1,411 violent felony offenders. During the first 8 months of the Jason Williams administration, January the 11th to August the 11th, he either refused or dismissed 937 violent felony cases.
The commission's report also says that a little more than half of the felony cases presented to the DA have been dismissed.
Why is it that so many cases are being refused And how does that look versus the prior administration? And why is it so many cases are being dismissed versus the prior administration?
The DA's office sent us a statement saying in part that the policies of this office over the past half century, while well-intentioned, were fostered by the MCC. The policies have led to this city being the incarceration capital of the world and the city with the most exonerations of incarcerated persons, echoing what Williams said on the campaign trail and what he told us back in March.
That is the job of this office. And people are going to jail, but we're making sure it's the right people.
However, the Metropolitan Crime Commission says that not prosecuting the vast number of violent cases could undermine public safety.
We're just saying that this is information, this is the record. If the district attorney is displeased with it, it's not because we cherry-picked. This is every case that we looked at.
For WGNO News, I'm LBJ.
The Louisiana Supreme Court announced it will hear oral arguments in person later this month. The High Court has been holding proceedings over video conference call this summer during the fourth surge of COVID-19. The court will be enforcing COVID-19 safety protocols and only allowing those participating in cases on the docket to attend. The public will be allowed to watch the proceedings live on the Louisiana Supreme Court website. Organizations in North Lafayette are planning a boycott. They're asking residents not to shop in Lafayette. It's an effort to help community leaders pay more attention to the north side of Lafayette. The goal of the group is to get the city to invest in more community developments in that area. They're asking north side residents to buy their goods and services in areas like Youngsville, Broussard, and Scott.
We believe that there's money already allocated for the north side of Lafayette. We're just trying to push whatever we can to make it happen, and that includes anything that can happen on the north side of Lafayette.
And one of their goals is to start a conversation about issues on the north side and where there are racial and economic disparities. Senators Bill Cassidy and John Kennedy announced this week that more money will be coming to Lake Charles to help with hurricane recovery. FEMA will be paying more than $2 million in reimbursement for emergency response procedures. The Southwest Louisiana Electric Membership Corporation will also get $2 million for grid repairs. Coming up, an effort is underway to get more college-aged kids in Louisiana vaccinated. We'll tell you all about it. Stay with us.
This is your local election headquarters.
Governor John Bell Edwards is teaming up with college students to find ways to boost vaccination rates.
This is your local election headquarters.
Governor John Bell Edwards is teaming up with college students to find ways to boost vaccination rates among their peers. Louisiana college students lead the state in positive COVID-19 cases since the start of the pandemic. As of Thursday, only 12.4% of 18 to 29-year-olds in the state have completed their vaccine series. Student leaders will help launch the COVID Student Wellness Task Force.
They're going to be a well thought out, diverse group again, and they're going to be putting their best foot forward to be sure that we're getting our vaccination rates up amongst our students.
And the team will come to the table with ideas for student engagement, education, and most importantly, mental health. The Louisiana Department of Education is asking the federal government to do away with their letter rankings for this year. With a major impact from the pandemic on student test scores, they expect them to be disproportionately low. Rochelle Riley reports.
School performance scores are usually released in November, but that could change this year.
They're trying to receive a waiver from the federal government due to the extenuating circumstances that our schools have endured over the past year.
The State Board of Elementary and Secondary Education wants to suspend school letter grades after a brutal year with the pandemic. The Louisiana Association of Educators says this is necessary.
From the pandemic to major storms, we just think that it would be a great option.
The EBR Federation of Teachers is in favor of this change.
It affects not only the students, but the educators as well, who are required to teach the students what they need to know to be successful on these tests.
Stand for Children Representative Bridget Nealon believes ranking letter grades should still be implemented.
It determines, in a way, potential opportunities for children in those schools, what their futures look like.
Louisiana is one of 45 other states looking for this exemption.
The Bessie Board and the state superintendent went on to ask for this waiver because the precedent has already been set by the other 45 states.
Nealon says there are other options to supplement for such a detrimental year.
Even if it is a roll forward of the same letter grade, we're at least providing some kind of stability.
That was Rochelle Riley reporting. The Bessie Board is still waiting for federal approval to remove the grades. Like Rochelle said, 45 other states have been approved for that move. Coming up, state leaders once again tackle the debate over teaching critical race theory in Louisiana schools. Greg Hilburn wrote about it, and he'll join me next. Stay with us.
This is your local election headquarters. This is your local election headquarters.
Welcome back. Looking ahead to the coming week, State Senator Rick Ward will speak at the Baton Rouge Press Club. He will talk about the Commerce Committee's efforts to get answers over failed communications following Hurricane Ida. Also this week, the State Bond Commission will revisit some project funding debates that will impact the Superdome and other construction projects. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Politics. I'm Fred Childers. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you next Sunday right here on your local election headquarters.